Hi, everybody, and welcome to another pro wrestling recap. I don't really have a fun name for this yet, um, but yeah, it's the thing where I talk about shows that I go to. I like wrestling, obviously. That's why I have this. That's why I'm wearing a shirt that says "Comedy Wrestling is Pro Wrestling." I enjoy pro wrestling, um, and I enjoy going to pro wrestling shows. And I've always been like, I go to the shows, and then I take a bunch of pictures at the show or whatever, and I don't really talk about the shows. So I'm going to in this thing that I do. I did one last weekend where I went to Warrior Wrestling, and last night or right now, I don't know, a few hours ago, I just got back from Mondo Lucha in took place in the Cooperage in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is a lovely venue. Here, let's take a look at it here. Bam, that's about as good as I can get. I was gonna do a slideshow. Maybe that's gonna make it bigger. Um, Maybe, yeah, that looks better. Okay, sorry, technical difficulties. I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out, and I'm used to be technologically advanced, but now that curve is long past. But yeah, I went to the Cooperage in Milwaukee. It's a kind of like you can have your wedding reception there. You can have a smaller concert there. You can have a Mondo Lucha wrestling show there, which they do pretty much every January, at least the past, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years. COVID screwed up some of that, maybe. But yeah, really cool venue. Got that kind of industrial feel. It's got a cool like brick wall. It's got all sorts of things happening there that are make it a really fun venue for professional wrestling, including the fans that were there. They were a great crowd. Um, so yeah, I went to Mondo Lucha tonight and I got back, and that's we'll try it this way. You can still kind of see me then, and you can see the pictures and videos and stuff that I kind of took, and I'll kind of talk about a run through the show. I'll put some videos in there. I'm sorry if Mondo Lucha doesn't like me doing this. I don't know. I assume it's all fair game. It's all content that's good to be like aired. Obviously they were kidding in some fashions where they're like, don't record this or whatever. But yeah, I'm just gonna run through the card quick. Started off with Jay, the guy who one of the guys who runs the company. I guess you can call it running the company, right? Helps do the show. I mean, it takes an army, but he's one of them, and he does the ring announcing for the shows and stuff like that. And seems like a really cool dude. Um, and he announced at that point that he was going to have a tearjerker of an announcement later on the show, which was well, we'll talk about it. He teased it, and I'm going to tease it too. So first match was Chico Suave taking on Chris Castro, Big C. I tried to make fun of Chris Castro's whatnots. I don't know if he heard me or not. But yeah, they had a nice back and forth opener match to that got the crowd very into it because Chico is a very over babyface. Just in life, he's just a fun guy, and and Chris Castro. I mean, he was doing. I didn't get a good picture or video of it, but he was doing the. He's from Chicago. He's very proud of being from Chicago. He works at Pro Wrestling Tees and he does the Pro Wrestling Tees whatnots like at least one time a week, if not more. Seems like he's always on there, which is great. And I buy things from him and then I show them on the podcast, which I don't have anything by me that I bought from there, but I have some things in the mail that I'll be talking about soon. Um, and they're actually from a show. But anyways, fun back and forth match. Chris Castro, when he came out, he had a cheese grater, and he had some craft singles for cheese. Not the ideal shredding kind of cheese, but I don't know, it worked, I guess, in the moment. And he did kind of shred one at one point, which did not go very well, but it was funny. And then he threw some of the craft singles at the audience, who I assume they probably ate them because it's Wisconsin and we love cheese. So, anyways, they're having a good back and forth, fun match where Chico is trying to. Oh, there he is with the cheese grater. And a craft single, as you can see there. That was, I believe, that was after. after the match. Yes, that was after the match. He was posing with the cheese grater and the craft angle. Chris Castro did win the match, which was kind of a bummer to start off the show, but that's okay. It was fun. The crowd got into it, and just a fun opener. And Castro got some heat because Chicago cheese grater, all that stuff. Next match, as you can see here, Aesop Mitchell came out with his accomplice, I guess, Bastion Bruiser. They came out, and Aesop, of course, obviously cut a heel promo because that's what he do. I don't even remember honestly what it was about at this point. I'm kind of tired, and but that's okay. It was just a heel promo, just because he's an asshole. And there's a very blurry picture of Red Goldstein coming to the ring, and it was Red Goldstein and Kid Latch were taking on Aesop Mitchell and Bastion Bruiser in a tag match. And I did take more pictures in this. Apparently, not all of them uploaded yet into the Google sphere. But that's okay. I don't really need to talk too much about it. It was a fun match, though. Really fun match. Red Goldstein's a mainstay he's getting his arm raised. Obviously, Red Goldstein and Kid Lat did end up winning the match. Red Goldstein is a mainstay at Mondo Lucha, one of the core characters that they have working their shows, and pretty much exclusively just working Mondo Lucha shows. Now, I don't know. Maybe Red Goldstein works other promotions somewhere. I don't know his secret identity, although I was told that by a friend, but I'm going to pretend that I don't know who it was, and maybe it's changed. You never know. People change. Red Goldstein's changed. I think there's been a few Red Goldsteins, if I'm not, maybe I made that up, but anyways, yes, I'm a little screwed up because I don't have all of my slides here, so I was hoping to kind of kill more time that way by having more pictures up, but that's okay. Really fun match. Like I said, Red Goldstein's super over with the crowd. Kid Lat's a good up and comer. I think his first Mondo Lucha show was this past fall at Turner Hall, and he's caught on pretty well with the audience. And then after the match, Aesop Mitchell, who normally manages Bastion Bruiser, but is a wrestler and can wrestle too. After the match, Aesop Mitchell, who has his signature cane, I think I had when he came out at there right here. Yeah, he's got a signature cane there, which he doesn't need as a walking device. But anyways, after the match, he threw his cane at Bastion Bruiser, and there was a moment where Bastion Bruiser kind of wrapped the cane around him and was gonna he picked him up he was gonna either bear hug him or suplex him or whatever. Why did I keep the blurry picture up there? God damn it. It looked like he was gonna, maybe teasing a little tension in the Aesop Mitchell family there, and with Bastion Bruiser. So an interesting twist. Maybe we'll see more stuff at the next show in regards to that, and maybe Bastion Bruiser's finally going to break out of his shell. He didn't have his North American Mountain Championship, whatever that belt that he always wears to the ring, he didn't have that on. So I don't know if he lost it in competition, whatever company that is otherwise defended in, or if he just didn't bring it to the show because, hey, they were going to lose and you don't want to have your champion lose in another federation. I don't know. But either way, they lost, and another just fun match. The next match is Devin Monroe was taking on Sierra for the Vanguard Championship, which you can see around her waist there as she carried it to the ring, and there's the thing I was kind of hinting towards. There you can also see the Vanguard Championship because it was right in front of me, and I'm like, I'm going to take a nice picture of this and send it to my buddy Dan at Turnquist Belts, because I know last year's show is when they first announced the title and first awarded the title to Sierra, And at that time, I was like, "Hey, Dan, you should make me this belt." And then know he was working on it at one point, and then it just kind of got lost in the shuffle, lost in his iPad drawings with all the other belts that I've randomly asked him to make. And then I resent this to him, and I was like, "Hey, make this for me." Because I think it's a cool belt, and the Vanguard is an institution in Wisconsin. They have a Vanguard jacket. I'm not even 100% sure what the Vanguard is. I think it's a restaurant, but uh, I don't know. It's like a weird like wrestlers. It's the Wisconsin. Now I'm fucking drawing it. Ribera Steakhouse. There you go. Like I will see wrestlers wearing the Vanguard jacket, and most of the time around this area in Milwaukee or Chicago shows. Like Dysfunction Ward at the GCW show I was at recently as well. But the Vanguard jacket has traveled, and there was a person that did wear that in Japan this past year, which was kind of a cool sight to see. But anyways, so the Vanguard Championship was on the line between Devin Monroe and Sierra, and they had a wonderful back and forth match. And yeah, just a real slobber knocker of a match. Went back and forth. Sierra kind of controlled the tempo of the match, got some power moves in there, and then kind of slowed things down with some sleepers and stuff like that. And and again, more things are missing here, but as you can see, Devin Monroe won the championship from Sierra, which was kind of a shocking victory, to be honest. I was not expecting to see a new Vanguard champion awarded on this show, but hey, guess what? New Vanguard champion was awarded on their show. Devin Monroe won the belt, which was a pretty shocking surprise. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad that Potawatomi did not offer odds on this Mondo Lucha show because I probably would have went there and probably would have been like, yeah, throw some money down. You know, I'll get most of these right. And I think I got pretty much every match wrong. So Devin Monroe winning this match was definitely one of those just because, Devin Monroe again, a kind of a newbie to the Mondo Lucha universe. Showed up on the September show and was back on this show and presumably back for more shows because hey, Devin Monroe is a champion now. So that is great and like very good match, very solid match. Probably, at this point in the show, both the first two matches were fun. They had their very Mondo Lucha characters. They had very very heels, very faces kind of characters, which are great. This was very much just both wrestlers were over. Both wrestlers were liked by the crowd and new champion. So good stuff there. The next match, there's Devin Monroe with the belt, and then during the match, the crowd was chanting "Hug it out," and then they did decide to hug it out. I don't have a picture of that, unfortunately, but yeah, the next match, Jordan Cross came out with that bastard Joey Avalon. I'm just kidding. I do like Joey Avalon. And Joey Avalon grabbed the microphone and, of course, cut a heel promo because he's a jerk. And Jordan Cross also cut a promo here and said that it brought a pair of scissors, had a pair of scissors with him. I would have been sweet if I would have thought about packing one, but I didn't. But Jordan Cross said, "I'm going to cut the hair of one of you ugly people in Milwaukee tonight." And Jay, the guy who runs the company, is like, "No, we're not cutting anybody's hair, Jordan. Like, no, we're not doing that." And that led to there was like a no scissors chant. I can't remember how it was to the Daddy Ass song, but oh, scissors me daddy, but like no scissors and whatever. I can't remember how it went. I'm tired. Anyways, fun times. But then they faced Matt Nix and Quinn Whittick. Quinn Whittick is a really talented wrestler. Wrestles for Juggalo Championship Wrestling as Cocaine. And he was wearing a cocaine shirt there. And I am really upset with all of the shit that I was missing in here. I had a lot more videos and stuff. And apparently those don't want to fart and work, which is Kind of disappointing. I thought I had everything queued up right, but apparently I suck. I'm just gonna reboot this and I'm gonna put this focus on me for a second, and maybe I can get something else to. Oh, maybe maybe in slideshow mode that doesn't work very well. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. I'm working on figuring this out on the fly. Sorry about that. So, anyways, Quinwinick wrestles for wrestles the cocaine. Good stuff there, and then and Matt Nix wrestles one of the I think he's like the lead guy at Freelance Wrestling, if I'm not mistaken, and and okay, well, we got some of the video back. Sorry, next time I will try to get this shit uploaded while I'm coming back, so it works better. Um, and anyways, Matt Nix, great worker. Jordan Cross is a fairly local guy. I think he's somewhere between Milwaukee and Racine, Milwaukee, Racine, Chicago, somewhere in that area. And yeah, Joey Avalon is of course a mainstay in the Wisconsin area. Kind of, he's done a good job of working for some of the bigger companies. He does the Warrior Wrestling shows, like I just saw him last weekend. He does the AAW shows as well. All sorts of crap in this area. So yeah, another really solid match here. Oh, here I finally got some fucking video. Sorry, and now it cuts out. I think my computer is frozen, so that probably doesn't help. Because it was in my Jeep and it's very cold outside. Because that's what's going on in the world right now, or at least in America. So, anyways, Quinn Whittick was threatening to cut Jordan Cross's mullet. His mullet became a big talking point before the match and after the match and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully this is all working for you. I mean, I know the video is probably shit, but I can only do what I can do. Anyways, good match. Another fun match. They teased the scissor a lot, and Matt Nix and Quinn Whittick ended up winning the match. And here was how they won the match, with a big frog splash there by Quinn Whittick. And they got the 1, 2, 3. After the match, though, Joey Avalon, Jordan Cross were not happy. They attacked their opponents, took them out, and then they grabbed the referee. And Joey Avalon put the referee in a sleeper, and they decided to cut the referee's hair, which the referee did not appreciate when they woke up from after they woke up from that sleeper. They were not very happy, and they started stuffing hair back into his headband and stuff. And sad day for his hair, but that happens, I guess. In wrestling, I guess that happens. Yeah. The next thing that they did was they did a tribute to the Beast, which I cannot play here, and I don't want to ruin it. I'll let them play most of it. I did get the end of it. Maybe it'll play here. But one last match, one last memory, one last goodbye. The Beast retires. This is very blurry. The Beast retires Friday, September 18th, 2026. Sorry, it's blurry. It shouldn't be blurry, but of course it is, because none of this shit's working right tonight. So yeah, the Beast is retiring. For those that don't know, the Beast is like a staple of Mondo Lucha. Mask guy. This guy right here is the Beast. He is a mainstay, maybe the mainstay of Mondo Lucha. Like when they do promo images of Mondo Lucha, the Beast is the guy. And Beast used to be known as the Russian Beast. Kind of dropped that moniker for a while. He's kind of a bad guy, kind of the main bad guy, but he's still kind of the face of the company in his own respectable way. But has since just become the Beast, which is great. Why bring countries and stuff into characters and stuff like that. That's old tacky WWF stuff, where he's the bad guy from Russia. It works for a little bit, but you don't need that all the time, anyways. So the Beast was there. They're having some technical difficulties. So the Beast decided to pose up in the corner there. But the ring announcer said that they have a very special opponent for the Beast tonight. I think it was gonna be Warhorse, but Warhorse couldn't do it because Warhorse got hurt. So they wanted to bring another popular internet wrestler in for the show, and they found this guy. That's the Beast again. There we go. I found Stephen Flo. I don't know if this will work because, like I said, the video's just been running really slow tonight. But yeah, Stephen Flo took on the Beast, and of course, Stephen Flo came up to his theme song and everything. And this was kind of exciting for me because I can't describe the. I mean, it hasn't been a ton of people, but there's been a few people that have been like, have sent me the Stephen Flo entrance video. It happened like last year when he first kind of got popular, and then there's like a recent wave again where people discovered Stephen Flo, um, which is great. And of course, people send me the video and they're like, "Hey, have you seen Stephen Flo wrestle?" And at the time, I was just like, "No, I haven't. I haven't yet." I know he wrestled in Chicago starting out. Just never got to any of the shows that he was on. And now he's been working for Juggalo Championship Wrestling, and I have never been to one of their shows, although I will be in Las Vegas in April. And hopefully you'll be there. But yeah, now I can safely say that I did see Stephen Flo work. And this is a pretty short match. It didn't really need to be much more than that. And but yeah, the Beast ended up winning, picking up the big W here in his second to last match, or his last match at the Cooperage. And there's a signature Beast spot here where the opponent tries to jam his head into the turnbuckle, and then Beast is like, "No, I'm not gonna let you, but I'll jam my own head into the turnbuckle." Good old Beast. Good old Beast choke slam there, and yeah. Anyways, fun match, short, but exactly what it needed to be, and it's just good times. Good times with the Beast. Next match up was for the Mondo Lucha Trios Championship. I can't remember if they called it a Trios or a six-man championship. I hope they called it a Trios Championship because I prefer that nomenclature. There's Trevor Outlaw acting like a weirdo. But this whole team is a bunch of weirdos. They're called the Leather Daddies. There's the Marman right there. Over in the on the turnbuckle there's Eye Candy Elliott, and as back here, that's Trevor Outlaw, who we saw last week in the match with Joey Janela on Warrior Wrestling. They took on Team Turbo. I'm going to try to get through this pretty quickly. This is a very fun back and forth match between both teams. It was hard hitting. It was it went pretty long, and we got some butt action. Eye Candy Elliott's trunks got pulled down at one point. I don't know how much of this I can show on YouTube, but his trunks got pulled down, and he did not pull those bad boys back up for the rest of the match. He was proud of what he had, and his name is Eye Candy Elliott for a reason, I guess. But yes, the Leather Daddies ended up picking up the W and becoming the first ever Mondo Lucha Trios champions. I think this was the end of the match here. If it decides to load, which it's not going to because it's son of a bitch. Anyways, another fun match. Like I said, lots of action. It was pretty much led by the heels a lot of the match. They were, taking advantage of being the bad guys and, drawing interference and stuff like that. But yeah, really solid match. Had a lot of fun with this one. And then Jay said that they're going to be running this back, or they're going to be doing a ceremony at the September show where the Leather Daddies are going to get their trios championships for the first time because they didn't have the belts at this show. So They're going to get their trios championships at the September show, and Team Turbo is invited to the ceremony as well. So I'm guessing we'll see a rematch between these two, which is well deserved. But yeah, really like, honestly, the Leather Daddies were heels. They were hateable as hell, but my God, were they entertaining. The Marman was especially entertaining in this match, and yeah, good times there. I didn't say who Team Turbo was. Team Turbo was, of course, the team of Doc Simmons, Zach Hendricks, and I still like to call him 8-Pack Jared Jacks. I don't know if he's still called that or not, but he used to be called that back in the Bruce City Wrestling days when I would go to those shows. So I think it's a cool nickname, and the dude is like legit ripped. So good old 8-Pack Jared Jacks. You know what? I lied. The Beast wasn't supposed to face Warhorse. This is where I drew a blank. The Beast was just supposed to face an opponent. He was supposed to face Steven Flo. Mustafa. Xavier Mustafa is not that guy's name, but just Mustafa. Or maybe it was Xavier Mustafa at one point. I don't remember, and my brain's not working right. So, anyways, Mustafa was supposed to be facing Warhorse this evening, and that match had to get canceled because of Warhorse's leg, as I said earlier, except in the wrong match. He didn't have an opponent. No problem. Meanwhile, though, the ring was getting cleaned up from the last match. The young boys were cleaning the ropes and stuff like that. The ring boys, the ring guys, and they offered their services to take on Mustafa. And technically, this is the part that Jay said, we're not supposed to talk about this here. For insurance reasons, but yeah, I'm going to talk about it anyway. So Mustafa took on the Ring Boys, and he took them on indeed, and he threw one of them into the crowd here, and he picked the other one up and put him down with a Death Valley Driver, and won the match. And it would be so much cooler if the fucking video would be working, but it's not. So it's not. I probably should have just waited until tomorrow to do this, but hey, there we go. There we go. The big Death Valley Driver there from Mustafa onto that poor young ring boy. Yeah. And so yeah, that was the last match. Mustafa, or not the last match. That was the prior match. Was Mustafa versus the ring guys, and he beat them obviously. And then the main event, Matt Cross came out to face Gringo Loco, which none of this is working right. The world's cold. My iPad or my computer's cold. Society is just cold at this point. I'm sure wherever you are is probably cold too, or it's going to be cold, or whatever. However, this polar vortex or whatever is going on is. But yes, he took on Gringo Loco. Gringo Loco was the existing Mondo Lucha champion, but he couldn't make the September show, so they crowned an interim champion, which was Matt Cross. And now at this show, Matt Cross took on Gringo Loco to determine who is the real Mondo Lucha champion. So yes, before the match, Gringo Loco grabbed the microphone, and which was a common theme throughout the evening. Pretty much everybody spoke before the match, but that's okay. It was a good way to get heat or applause or whatever from the crowd. But he pointed out that Dan Perch, the referee for this contest and several of the other contests on this show, is going to be taking a break from refereeing for a undetermined amount of time. Don't know exactly what that means. I did ask a friend of his what was going on, and I kind of got a scoop, but it's not my job to report that. I was more curious, more so than anything, but Dan Perch is a hell of a referee, and one of my absolute favorite referees to watch in the ring. He does a great job with just doing all the little things right, not only in refereeing, but just like cleaning off the ring mat and making sure that the turnbuckle pads are properly facing, and just a lot of little things that kind of just get lost in the shuffle by referees sometimes. So I guess since Gringo Loco gave Dan Purchase flowers, I'm going to do the same thing and give him his flowers too, because he is a hell of a referee, and I'm going to miss watching him in the squared circle. You may have seen Dan Perch. He's done a lot of things in this area. If you're from where I live, if you're not, then Chicago obviously does a lot of shows in Chicago. Our mainstay at AAW for a while. Even was pretty much a mainstay in GCW for the past few years as well. And yeah, hell of a referee. One of the best, has traveled the world, and good guy. Anyways, wish him the absolute best. Good match between Gringo Loco and Matt Cross here. Two consummate professionals just doing what they do best, and that's put on a really fun, good wrestling match for the crowd that paid to see him. It's one thing. I mean, I've seen Gringo Loco. This was my 36th time watching Gringo Loco wrestle, and man, he's just good. Every time he just flat out delivers. Like, he's just a solid wrestler, and yeah, whether he's a good guy, a good guy who becomes a bad guy who becomes a good guy, whatever's necessary for the match. Um, just a consummate good wrestler. And Matt Cross, I mean, it's the same legend in the business, in the indie backyard movement of the early 2000s, and to the point where, and also known as M Dog 20, and also known as Son of Havoc, who worked for Lucha Underground as well. Just one of those guys who's been a main. He might not be a household name, but he's been a very important figure in wrestling throughout the past 20 years or so, more than that at this point, because holy shit, we're in 2026. So yeah, and wrestled the first match at the first All In pay-per-view as well. So I mean, like, very accomplished dude. Beat MJF. Um, so hopefully this is working still. I apologize if it's not, or if it's blurry, or I don't know what's going on. Everything's cold and freezing up and not working. It's fun. Gotta love Wisconsin. And the rest of America at this point. But yeah, really, like I said, really solid match between the two. Hopefully I can pull up the finish here. If I can't, it's there we go. Hey, it's working. It's There's Matt Cross nailing the shooting star press on Gringo Loco. Perch goes down for the 1, 2, 3, and Matt Cross is your winner of the match and the Mondo Lucha champion. So I assume we will see him back at Turner Hall in September for that show. But yeah, really fun show. Sorry things didn't work out right from a technological standpoint during this. Hopefully that wasn't a deal breaker for you watching and whatnot. But anyways, had a lot of fun at this show. I really recommend that if you're in the greater Milwaukee region when a Mondo Lucha show is happening, which isn't very often. I think they pretty much just do these two shows. They used to just do the Turner Hall show, I think, and then they started to do a second show at the Cooperage a few months later. But yeah, if you have a chance, highly recommend going to the Mondo Lucha shows. They're just a lot of fun. They don't really announce the matches ahead of time, which I personally enjoy, because I like a company that also does that kind of thing where they just don't announce matches, and that's half the fun. Like, sell your company on your name, not necessarily on your matches. I think that's a fun way of doing it, and they do. They sell out Turner Hall, they sell out the Cooperage. They do a good job, because every time they put on a show, it delivers, and it's entertaining, and it's everything you want a professional wrestling show to be. So yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about Mondo Lucha or anything, let me know in the comments or whatever. I've been going to their shows for I think since 2018 or 19, and COVID made everything a blur. I did miss one show because I had Penn and Teller tickets the same night, and that was long before they announced the date, which sucked. But I was gonna miss Penn and Teller. Just because I've been a fan of theirs forever. But that's not why you're watching the video to hear me talk about Penn and Teller. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sitting through all this technological bullshit issues that occurred. I apologize. Next time I will be more prepared. Again, as always, every video is a learning experience. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Go watch some wrestling and stay warm, and hopefully the snow and ice and all that stuff won't affect you too badly, and hopefully we'll all get through this together, and just be safe, everyone. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon with another video. Thanks. Bye.